All right. So that's his story. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's say hello to the man, Nick Newell, who's joining us. Look at that. We go from one man to the next. How are you, Nick? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you here. This is very exciting. Whoop, as the chair bounces away. You're wearing shorts. Is it freezing for you in here?
It is a freezer in here.
Yes, I know.
This is how I dress, so
Okay.
here we
Well,
are.
how far do you live from here, by the way, Bristol, Connecticut?
About 40 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
40 minutes.
So not too bad. You should come visit us more often.
I know.
We're in your neck of the woods.
Invite me,
Okay.
and I'll come through.
I will. By the way, NWO, you're sort of a proud member of a different NWO.
Yes, the
but
Newell World
the
Order.
Newell. You did it first. I acknowledge that. You kind of did the play on words first. I'm stealing it. We're the Nose World Order.
Oh, okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Get it
Yes, I get it. Yeah, because you have a big
yes, exactly. Congratulations on this opportunity. This is a big deal. You're making your Bellator debut this Saturday in your backyard, essentially, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Webster Bank Arena against Corey Browning. How far do you live from Bridgeport?
About 10 minutes from the arena.
No way.
So from Bridgeport, I live about 5 minutes, but
Okay.
to the arena is about 10 minutes. I grew up in Milford, Connecticut, which is about 15 minutes from there.
Okay.
And now I live in Trumbull, Connecticut, which is the next town over from Bridgeport. So I was actually, if you on my Instagram, I just posted a video driving past it because I was going to somewhere and I pass the arena all the time. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty motivating, and it's really good to have something that I can give back to my fans that have been there for me since day one. Can come and see the people I grew up with. It's literally right there. Fought in Connecticut, but not my hometown.
Wow.
Usually an hour and a half away. So this one's good. I sold a ton of tickets. Bellator's going to be really happy.
Okay, so how did this whole thing come about? Because you took the year off, you came back, you won, looked good, and you were always hoping for that big opportunity. This is a big stage. How did this deal with Bellator happen?
Yeah, so I took some time off.
Yep.
Because I was having my son. So my wife was pregnant and it was our first kid, so I wanted to be there for her and support her. Family first over everything. But the whole time I was training and I was getting better. I was like, I knew what I had to work on and I wanted to fix those things. And when you have a fight camp, it's hard to do those things. Fight camp's all about timing, and out of camp is all about technique. So I just worked on my technique, improved my technique, and fixed the things I thought needed fixing, and jumped right back in there and won fast. And I was a little banged up from the camp, but I took like 2 weeks off and started training again, and this opportunity came to me and I'm jumping on it.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a one-fight deal, right?
Yeah, so one fight deal.
Okay, so it seems like perhaps because you're a big draw in Connecticut, you help sell a lot of tickets, as you said. They're putting you on the card, but it's also an opportunity for you they've opened the door for you to burst through that door, correct?
Yeah, so ideally, I wanna go fight for Bellator and raise my stock.
Yeah.
So by fighting for Bellator, it's a big opportunity. It's a big arena near my house. They're giving me a good push, which is cool. I'm ready. I'm gonna win this fight. I'm very confident. But it's like an audition to me. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like I win this fight, and then Bellator will hopefully offer me a really good contract, a nice long-term something where I can grow with them and be a part of the great organization.
Have they said to you, like, do good things, impress us, and then we'll talk? Is there a clause in the contract where they get the right to sign you first? Anything like that?
No, it's just one fight
Really?
deal.
So you
It's
can
like,
go literally sign somewhere else on Sunday morning, technically.
I could,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're not looking to do that.
No, I'm actually I appreciate the people that give me opportunities.
Sure.
So hopefully I can land in a good opportunity with Bellator after this and grow from there, especially since they come to Connecticut all the time. And
They do.
I've gone all over the place to fight and traveled. It's easier when you're fighting at home.
Could you even put a number on how many tickets you've sold? You're such a huge draw here in Connecticut. Do you have any idea?
Basically, I mean, they gave me a bunch of tickets. I sold them, and then I told a bunch of people like, "Hey, can you meet me? I'm like, "No, I'm not meeting you. I'm training for a fight.
Yeah.
Go buy it online." So I told a bunch of people to buy them online. So
Okay.
I definitely a couple hundred tickets.
Can you describe the feeling going into this one compared to the fight on Contender series? seems like there's similarities, right? Like you have to win this fight to get the big, the big contract next. How do you feel compared to last year?
Yeah, it's good. I'm a different person now that I am
How
than
so?
that. I'm a father now.
Hmm.
I've matured a little bit. I kind of figure out the things I need to work. I made some changes, and even in that fight, you watch that fight. I thought it was a good fight. I'll say that he won. That's cool. But there's like not really a lot about him that he could end up being the champion. He could be a great fighter, and I took it to him that fight, and I got taken down and controlled. So I worked on that,
Hmm.
and I fixed the things that need fixing, and I'm back, and I know that I'm elite. I know I belong amongst the elite, and I've been asking for these opportunities, and Bellator's giving it to me. So I'm very appreciative of that.
You said you changed some things, like what?
I just my schedule.
Okay.
I run my own gym in Connecticut. It's called Fighting Arts Academy. I'm advertising it right now.
Yes.
We're moving to Milford next month. We're in West Haven right
Okay.
now. Not that it means anything because people are watching from all over the world,
Yes.
but for my Connecticut people. So I kind of mix up my schedule. I brought in some coaches that I was doing everything on my own. So I brought in some coaches that I like to work with, and now it allows me some time to work with them and also travel up to Springfield, Massachusetts, where my head coach, Fighting Arts Academy, Jeremy Libashevsky, who I've been working with since day one. I go to him more, and I just get more time in, because I'm trying to provide for my family
Yeah.
and with some steady income, and also become an elite fighter, and it's kind of hard to balance, but I feel like I found that balance, and right now my timing, everything, my weight cut, my camp, my team is awesome, and I've built a great thing in Connecticut, and I have a great system that revolves around me when I fight, and I really like that.
As opposed to, having to do everything yourself. You want to be the star of the show, right? Like you don't want to just be another cog in the wheel.
Yeah, I prefer the small camp
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
for
Sort of
myself,
like
where
boxing, right? Where
yeah,
like everything.
more like a boxer,
Right,
and
right.
it's not a knock on the big teams because
No, no.
the big teams have the most guys, the best guys, but it's just different people thrive under different environments, and I found a really good thing here in Connecticut.
I saw a photo on your Instagram recently where you were with Glover Teixeira,
Yes.
working with him. Is that a new thing as well?
Yeah, I recently started working with him a little bit more. And in the future, I'm gonna add more time in with him and figure my schedule. But he's a very motivating guy.
Yeah.
His gym's about 35 minutes from my house, which is
Okay.
pretty convenient. And obviously he's one of the best fighters in the world. So Glover and I have a good relationship, and we get along really well.
Yeah.
And he's just a great guy. So if there's that tool there in Connecticut that's right there, I'm gonna use it,
Right.
and he was welcoming me at his gym, and I couldn't be more appreciative.
Is it nice to be perhaps on the cusp of getting something secure from a big organization? Because I see on Twitter, like, you're campaigning to do things. You have to kind of, raise your hand and say, I'm here. You guys are going to Connecticut. You're going to my neck of the woods. Those days could be over if things go well on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure at some point you don't want to keep doing that, right?
Yeah, I definitely don't. I mean, I had a lot of buzz around me, in World Series of Fighting, and I went 4-1 there, had some really great fights, and then I was worn out, injured, beat up, and I had a moment where I was like a little weak and a little just done with it. So I took some time off, and I came back, and I kind of had to start over. So it was I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I'm special or deserve anything more than anyone else. I just like fighting, and I love challenging myself, and if I have to ask for something or kind of throw my name in there, I don't mind it, but it's better when people are asking for you and fighting for you.
Sure.
So hopefully after this fight, I'll definitely, I won't have to ask anymore. People will be asking me.
Yeah. I haven't talked to you in a minute. After the Contender Series fight, how did you handle that? Being so close and not realizing that dream. How was that on you?
This game is this game is crazy.
Yeah.
I to be honest with you, I did what I could. I prepared to the best of my ability. I went in there to fight. I went in there to get the finish, And sometimes these things, they don't work out the way that you hoped, you know? And the Contender Series is a relatively new show, but there's been guys that have lost on the Ultimate Fighter and came back and been champions. So it's like not a determination of skill or lack of skill. It was just on this given day he was a better guy. So I'm not even really bothered. Of course, I'm upset. I wish I won. You know, I tried my hardest, but I know where I belong. I train with these guys. You know, I do my small camp thing, but I also go to other gyms and cross train with people, and I know where I stand. I'm not here to embarrass myself.
Hmm.
I wouldn't do this if I didn't think that I was ready. I wouldn't ask for these opportunities if I didn't know that I was capable of of competing. Because one thing is, because of my arm, I get a lot more attention, but also it's not all positive attention. A lot of it's negative, and it's a lot of people that can't wait for me to lose so they could say, "I told you so. I know he doesn't belong." You know, and then I'm it's people are on one side or the other, really.
Yeah.
It's like you're really here, you're down with me or you're not with me. And for me, it's like kind of ignoring that and just being real with myself is an important thing, and not letting people's opinions stop you. But I know what I'm capable of, and no one's perfect, and I know that I'm going to have my day, and I know that I'm going to be able to do great things in this game. You know, if you look at my fight with Justin Gagey, he's a very good fighter.
Yeah.
I hurt him multiple times on the feet. I ended up losing, but I did better than some guys that are ranked top 10 in the world. And not a knock on those guys, but you know, we had a dogfight. So it's really wh- the Contender Series fight. You don't know anything about this guy that I fought. You know, so it's whatever, you know, to me. And it's like there's nothing you can do about it except get better. And that's exactly what I've done. I've
Yeah.
gotten better, and now I'm fighting for Bellator, and I'm gonna make a statement.
I'm just wondering if you were down afterwards, if you wanted to take a break, if you checked out, if you need. I know you were about to become a dad, so that
Oh,
was, you know what I mean, like how you handled that. There was so much hoopla surrounding that fight, right? This was the big opportunity. It was. I mean, you were the most talked about guy on that season, in my opinion.
yeah, I think I was the biggest fight that the show's ever had.
I'm not
You
surprised.
know, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to not be I'm trying to stay grounded
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but, like, definitely with the
No, that was
media
a big
attention and
deal.
everything. You know, after the fight, I was sad, so I ate a bunch of food that's really bad and got a little fat, and then I was like, "No, no, no, I gotta keep going. I gotta get back on track," and literally, I was back training within, like, a week or 2,
Okay.
and I trained that while I was still in Las Vegas because one of my fighters, had a fight out there. A guy, Justin Sumter, had a fight, so I had to corner him. So I stayed out there and I trained while I was there.
Okay.
You know, right after my fight, I wasn't done. I just wanted to be there for my wife and support her. So that's why I took time off.
Okay. You were always planning on taking that time off. It had nothing to do with the loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's just whether opportunities present themselves,
Right.
you know, and after that, no one really was reaching out to me, and but I was training and getting ready in case anyone came to me. And CES MMA is like a great organization. I love them. I would recommend any fighter fights for CES because they take great care of their fighters, and they give you opportunities. And they came to me and they were like, "Nick, we really want you to fight on our card," and they gave me the opportunity, and uh, now I'm here.
Yeah, that helped you get back into
Yeah.
the public eye and whatnot. Um, had this Bellator opportunity not come after that one, were you planning on still keep on going? Like, would you have been happy continuing to fight for CES?
I think they're a great organization.
Huh.
Maybe I wouldn't have fought this summer,
Okay.
but I was still training. And when the opportunity came, I was already in shape and I was feeling great. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll skip the barbecues and the beach, and I'll just train because you only really get one life to do this stuff, and I'm not really here to waste too much time. So I really focused in, and I'm ready to go. Man, it was a little bit shorter notice than I usually get, but it actually worked out fantastic because I was already in shape when they called me, and I felt fantastic. And I'm very, very excited. I've had years where I'm doing camps and I get hurt or something happens, and this camp, everything has gone great, and I can't really complain about anything in it. And you know, I'm ready to go.
I'm surprised they put you on the prelims. I'm sure you don't care. I know you're not going to make a big stink, but like considering what you just said about Contender Series, you're as well known as probably every other fighter except for the two guys in the main event, who maybe even these days more people know who you are than Sergey Kharitonov, right? Like the newer fan, so to
Yeah.
speak. I'm surprised they put you on the prelims.
Well, you got to stick with your people. So I have
Yeah,
the one fight deal. So
true.
it kind of makes sense to put the guys that they have more long term. They're going to build around
Right.
on the main card. So that's what, even though I have more followers and a bigger following, it's still, it makes sense to me. It'd be nicer if I was on the main card
Yeah.
because I'd at least get more sponsors.
Oh yeah,
But,
that's true.
I'll make it work and I'll do my thing and go out there and make a statement and they'll put me on the broadcast anyway.
You see, I feel like the matchup itself, you versus Browning, leads me to believe that they're not just looking at you as a one-off, because Browning has a little thing going on himself. He beat Kevin Ferguson Jr., Baby Slice. He then beat Aaron Chalmers. Like these are guys that they had high hopes for. So now maybe they're putting him in this spot as maybe being like, the rising star killer or whatever you want to call it, even though I feel like you're kind of past that point anyway. But you know what I mean? But if you beat him, now you're the guy who stopped him. He's not
Yeah.
just some schmo that they picked off that we don't know. Like there's a
Yeah.
story there. So I feel like they're subtly investing in you as well, even though they gave you one fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I felt the same way, and I really appreciate that from them. And the thing about him is he's a good, well-rounded fighter. I studied him. I'm prepared for
Did
him.
you know about him before?
Yeah, because when he fought Baby Slice, it was in Connecticut, so I was there
Okay,
and I
okay.
watched it. Um, you get two guys
Those guys aren't at your level though,
like
right?
Chalmers and Baby Slice, and I obviously watched the fights that they had with he's had with them, and he beat them, but these guys don't have the experience that I have, and I
Right,
think that they both there's little things about them where in the future I think they'll be very good, but right now they're not ready for it,
right.
and I'm ready for it. And I have the composure and the experience that these guys don't have. So they fell apart later in the fight. I'm not going to fall apart like that in a fight. This is my 18th professional fight and my 21st fight overall. So like you take someone that's had like 5 fights and versus someone that's had 21 fights is very different.
Right. That's a great point. When did you start? When was your debut? What year?
I turned pro 10 years ago.
10
So,
years ago. Wow.
um 2009 I turned pro and I had my first fight in 2008.
One thing that I've wondered, you often see like when you see someone on a big stage on television who is like you doing well, that spawns like a new generation of people, and maybe it's too soon. But I'm wondering if anyone who's also a congenial amputee has come to you and said, "I want to be a fighter as well." Like, have you trained with it? I've never seen you in photos or anything with other fighters. Are there any ones out there? No, am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. Yeah,
Okay,
you're wrong.
all right,
So I get message from people that want to be fighters all the time,
yeah,
and my message to them is like I give them tips and I give them advice and mindset stuff, but like a lot of it you kind of have to figure out.
yeah.
But I've had kids come to me and I've done lessons with them. But there's a guy that fights for a lion fight. His name's Jake Peacock. I cornered him when he fought in New York City.
Okay,
He is a destroyer. Now he's not an MMA guy. He's a
okay,
kickboxer,
okay, okay.
right? But he's a young guy too. He's like maybe early 20s, maybe 20, 21, like young guy, and he just had a sensational knockout in his lion fight debut.
Okay, he
And
trains with you.
I know he was just in New York City and we
Okay,
just talked. So he's like, "Hey, you want to come to my fight and help out in the corner?" So I went and
sick.
cornered him and he won by knockout in like 30 seconds, and then he won again in the first round. And before me, there was a kickboxer, Baxter Humby, who was amazing and a world champion. And then in grappling, Jean-Jacques Machado was
Uh huh.
a fantastic grappler. So I feel like I'm not the first. I
Okay,
won't be the last, but in MMA, I'm just the biggest name for
okay.
mixed martial arts. But it's also not a contest, you know. If
Sure,
if
sure.
some if some guy came along and that was amazing with one hand, I would think that that is like the coolest thing ever,
Right.
and it's good to see that, like I said before, that you can be a victim of your circumstances or you create your own, and you can sit there and be like, oh, life's so hard for me, or I can't do this or that, or the reason why. But I feel like people like me because they can relate to me because everyone has their struggles. I don't think that my path was harder than anyone else's. I don't think it took me like, oh, I did this and I overcame that. You'll never hear me saying that. Of course it was hard. You know?
Yeah.
Of course I had to do a lot and I had to deal with a lot and do that. But everyone has problems and everyone has things going on in their life that people can't see. Mine you can see it, and it's obvious what I'm going through, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to me because of that.
You ever hear from kids from back in school who might have been mean to you, and now see what you do for a living and apologize or anything like that?
Um, I mean, people really the truth is growing up, I always had a lot of friends and like people would obviously say little things about me and I would always be quick to defend myself and I didn't really allow myself to be bullied because I always kind of had a little bit of a dog in me, you know,
Okay.
like I was always kind of tough. It wasn't until that I started becoming a popular fighter and the internet that people really started bullying me.
Really? I can imagine.
Yeah, and I was
Really?
like, man, people are mean, you
Yes.
know. But
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of kids out there. I spoke to a lot of kids that definitely get bullied and are in different circumstances. So in my head I've always just kind of just been like, yeah, whatever, you know, type of guy. So maybe people have said things that have been very mean to me in the past, and people have made comments that like are very mean, but I kind of just kind of roll with them and just ignore them for the most part. I don't really like drama or issues like
Yeah.
or conflict that much. So I know that sounds crazy because I fight people in a
Yeah.
cage, but like I just I have enough problems. I have enough real world problems that I deal with and things that I have to worry about in my life that I don't need to be arguing with someone on the internet about something.
Right. And I mean, like you said, very, very well. People are very mean
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
Do you not like read the comments as much these days? I know like early on in your career you were very active on social media. How are you now? Have you changed your ways?
If you write on my um if you write on my Instagram, I'm gonna see it and
Ah,
follow it,
okay.
you know. But sometimes with the comments, I don't even really read them in the article. I mean, you get the same comments every time. So you go through and you see an article about me, and it's gonna be the same thing. Like either like I can't I can't wait to see this guy fight. He's amazing. Like I love him. Like New World Order stuff like that. And then you get people that are like, oh. He sucks. He lost to Justin Gaethje, you know. Like I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah, yeah.
Like he's beating a lot of people. Let's just chill out,
Right, right, right.
okay? And then you get people that are like, "Oh, his opponent will have the upper hand. Got to hand it to this guy. Um, two thumbs
Or
up for this guy." You know, and it's just like stupid stuff. It's very low hanging fruit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't really affect me anymore. You know, so it's like I know exactly what the comments are gonna say, so I don't even read it.
You mentioned that you just became a dad. How's fatherhood?
Oh, it's the best. I
Yeah. How
love it.
old is your son now?
My son Wyatt is 8 months now,
8 months.
so he was born on um, December 7th, which is actually the same day that I won the XFC World Title,
Oh
which kind
wow.
of changed my life,
Right.
and same day that I won the second World Series of Fighting
Really?
um, fight. So it's kind of a very significant day to me, aside from the whole Pearl Harbor thing, which was horrible.
Right.
Uh, but you know, it was kind of a crazy day of all days to be born.
Yeah, and do you feel like now, I was just talking to Stipe about this, and I remember, like Cerrone's talked about this. So you had your first fight very recently
Yeah.
as a dad. Do you feel like you approach the fight differently now?
Not really,
Okay,
to be honest with you.
I
And
appreciate that.
people have asked me this question, and the way that I look at it is probably different from other people. So I have to fight. I have to provide for my family. I have to do this. But like the truth is, like all I'm gonna do is go out there and train as hard as I can and fight the best that I can and give it my all and never give up and give it everything I have, and your family's gonna love you no matter what.
Right,
Of all the people that you have to fight for, your family is like the last people you should be worried about.
right.
My wife and my son are gonna love me no matter what, so I don't feel any extra pressure being a father than I did before. You know,
Right.
I'm doing this because I love it. I could do anything I want and be good at it. That's my mindset. If I dedicate myself to anything, I'm going to be good at it because I'm going to go that extra mile and make sure that I'm the best at it. You know, if I really love it, I'm going to do it. So, for me, that's MMA and that's my goal. And if there was ever something else I wanted to do, I will go full steam ahead in that, but there's not.
Right.
You know, and my family sees how hard I work. They see everything I put in, and my son has no idea cuz he's a baby,
Sure.
but like my wife sees that, and she doesn't love me because I'm a good fighter. She loves me because of the person I am.
Right. Right.
So there's no extra pressure from my family. No one in my family ever pushed me to be anything. I just always made all the decisions of things I wanted to do on my own, and they supported me. You know, no one in my family even played sports before me.
Wow.
So, uh, you know, my wife was actually a really good athlete, most athletic in high school, Division II tennis, like good athlete. So she understands the hard work part. And everyone around me in my community and my people, they all support me. So it's good.
I apologize if this is a stupid question. But was there any concern that your son would be born?